You know, sometimes a single week can tell you everything you need to know about a country's direction. And in late September of 2025, India had one of those weeks. We're talking about a whole series of wins in sports, in global policy, and in economic development that might seem random at first. But when you piece them all together, they tell this incredible story of momentum. So let's connect the dots.
It kind of sounds like the setup for a bad joke, doesn't it? What on earth connects the roar of a cricket stadium, the blur of a speed skating rink, and the, quiet mechanics of global mail? Well, for 1 week in September, the answer was India. And believe me, these weren't just random events. They were all threads in this single amazing story of excellence hitting the world stage. All right, so let's kick things off on the cricket pitch, where the energy is always just electric. But on this one particular day, all that energy was about to be focused into something truly historic, a performance that would literally redefine speed and power in Indian cricket. In sports, there are some records that just feel untouchable, especially when they're held by absolute legends. And in Indian cricket, one of those records belonged to the king himself, Virat Kohli. For years, his achievement was the benchmark. So, the question on everyone's mind was, how do you possibly top that?
Well, the answer came from the incredible Smriti Mandhana. For over a decade, the fastest one-day international century, that's 100 runs, was Virat Kohli's blistering 52-ball performance. It felt like it was set in stone, but Mandhana? She didn't just meet that standard, she smashed it, reaching her century in just 50 balls. 2 fewer deliveries. That's all it took to rewrite the history books.
And get this, she did it against a powerhouse team, Australia. This wasn't just the fastest century for a woman, it was the fastest for any Indian cricketer, ever, male or female. Just a truly monumental achievement that set this explosive tone for the whole week. So, while the cricket world was still buzzing, that same theme of record-breaking speed was happening all over again in a completely different arena. We're swapping the pitch for the rink, where another incredible story of Indian triumph was just getting started.
So, the action moves over to Beidaihe, China, for the 73rd Inline Speed World Championships. Yeah, it's a totally different sport, with a totally different skill set, but the theme was exactly the same: Indian athletes reaching the absolute top of their game.
And this is where the story was just dominated by one 22-year-old athlete, speed skater Anand Kumar Velkumar. His medal haul was just staggering. A bronze in the 500-meter sprint, a gold in the 1,000-meter with a new record time, and then the showstopper, a gold medal in the grueling 42-kilometer marathon, which secured India's first ever world championship title in the sport's entire history. Just wow.
But wait, it wasn't just a one-man show. His teammate, Anish Raj, also got on the podium, grabbing a historic bronze medal. This wasn't just a fluke. It was solid proof of the growing strength and depth of the entire Indian team. Now, this number really puts it all into perspective. 19. That's how many athletes Team India sent to compete. And they were going up against the best from 41 other countries. To come away with multiple historic medals from such a small team, that is just an incredible achievement. Okay, so from the lightning pace of the sports world, let's totally switch gears to the equally competitive world of global governance. This part of the story isn't about winning medals, but it is about strategic wins that are designed to shape the country's future for decades to come. Now, this next win might not sound as glamorous, but in the world of international diplomacy, it's a huge deal. Think of the Universal Postal Congress as, like the United Nations, but for mail. And at its meeting in Dubai, India got re-elected to its 2 most important leadership groups, the Council of Administration, which handles the big-picture strategy, and the Postal Operations Council, which manages the day-to-day rules. It's kind of like getting a seat on the board of directors for the entire world's postal system.
So why does this matter? Well, it's a massive vote of confidence from the rest of the world. Other nations looked at how India successfully digitized its postal service, using it for things like financial inclusion, and basically said, we want that kind of leadership at the global table. A really major diplomatic win. And of course, building the future takes serious investment. Just look at this number: 34,200 crore rupees. That is the value of new projects launched in a single push to basically supercharge India's entire maritime sector. We're talking about a colossal investment in the nation's economic backbone. This huge investment is all part of a program called Samudra Se Samriddhi, which has this beautiful translation, prosperity from the seas. It was launched in Gujarat, and its goal is to completely overhaul India's maritime economy. A really key part of this is giving official infrastructure status to large-scale shipbuilding, which is a big move designed to attract even more global funding and investment.
But you know, records, medals, and big investments, they're only part of the story. Behind all of that, you've got culture and community. So the final pieces of this week's amazing snapshot are the things that celebrated the actual spirit of the nation.
And here we are, full circle, right back to cricket. During this incredibly packed week, the ICC released the official anthem for the 2025 Women's Cricket World Cup. It's called Bring It Home, and it's sung by the amazing Shreya Ghoshal. I mean, what a perfect soundtrack for a week that was defined by victory.
And the anthem itself is this fantastic fusion of styles. It blends high-energy modern beats with the richness of Indian classical music. It was really designed to capture the very heart of women's cricket, that passion, perseverance, and that unbreakable team spirit.
And finally, this week of massive wins also included a moment to honor a different kind of hero. September 25th was World Pharmacists' Day, a day to recognize the quiet, vital, and excellent work that pharmacists do for the nation's health every single day.
So let's just step back and take it all in. A record-shattering century, a first-ever world title in speed skating, a strategic win in global governance, a massive investment in the country's future, a new anthem, and a day for our healthcare guardians. Not a month, not a year, all of this in just 1 week.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? When a country can pack so many different kinds of achievements into such a short amount of time, it creates this powerful feeling of momentum. So, the question we're left with is a pretty exciting one. If this is what 1 week can look like, what does the next one hold?